Good afternoon, my friends. Today is the start of a new era for New York City. It is Inauguration Day. It is also the day that the rent is due. At midnight last night, I swore my oath to become the mayor of New York City. Just a few hours ago, today, I celebrated with tens of thousands of New Yorkers. Many of them left our ceremony to return to houses and apartments that do not feel like homes, where bad landlords do not make repairs, where rents constantly rise, where roaches crawl in the hallways and heat in the chill of winter comes rarely, if ever. These New Yorkers voted for a new day for our city because the past one is clouded by housing insecurity and instability, where they cannot afford a life of dignity in the city that they love. Today, on the first day of this new administration, on the day where so many rent payments are due, we will not wait to deliver action. And we will stand up on behalf of the tenants of this city. Yes, we know we are fighting for a rent freeze. But that is not the extent of our efforts. We will also stand up for tenants, build new housing, and get New Yorkers into housing faster. Today, we are announcing 3 executive orders. The first will be to revive the mayor's office to protect tenants. We will not compromise on housing quality. If your landlord does not responsibly steward your home, city government will step in. We will make sure that 311 violations are resolved, and we will hold slumlords to account for hazardous and dangerous threats to your well-being. The second is to create a LIFT task force. LIFT stands for Land Inventory Fast Track, to leverage city-owned land and accelerate housing development. The task force will review city-owned properties and identify sites suitable for housing development no later than July 1st of this year. The last executive order is the creation of the SPEED task force. SPEED standing for Streamlining Procedures to Expedite Equitable Development. This task force will identify and remove bureaucratic and permitting barriers that drive up costs and slow housing construction and lease up, making it more affordable to build and easier to access housing across New York City. These 2 task forces will be overseen by our incredible Deputy Mayor for Housing and Planning, Leila Bozarg. These are sweeping measures, but it is just the beginning of a comprehensive effort to champion the cause of tenants too long ignored and homes too expensive. We are here today at 85 Clarkson Avenue. This building is owned by Pinnacle Realty, a notorious landlord whose name is all too familiar to far too many renters in New York City. Thank you. Tenants like Josie Wells, who we will hear from shortly, contend with a lack of heat, roaches, and the kind of conditions that no New Yorker should have to live through. This building and 92 others owned by the same landlord are in bankruptcy proceedings. And they are set to be auctioned off to a different landlord, one who ranks number 6 on the worst landlord list in New York City. In those buildings alone, there are more than 5,000 open hazardous violations and 14,000 complaints. This is an untenable situation. So today we are announcing that we will be taking action in the bankruptcy case. Stepping in to represent the interests of the city and the interests of the tenants and say, once and for all, who this government will be fighting for. I have directed my nominee for Corporation Counsel, Steve Banks, to take precedent-setting action in the bankruptcy case on behalf of the renters of this building and of the thousands of other renters across New York in similar situations. We are a creditor and interested party. The city is owed money that Pinnacle never paid. And we will fight for New Yorkers' interests to safe and habitable homes. In doing so, we will protect tenants already long neglected from further neglect. And we will mitigate the significant risk of displacement they currently face. For too long, bad landlords have been allowed to mistreat their tenants with impunity. That ends today. No longer will government turn a blind eye as working-class New Yorkers, many of them in neighborhoods of color, are treated as pawns in a game where landlords never feel the consequences of those kinds of actions. Lastly, but certainly not least, you cannot hold such violations of the law to account unless you have a proven, principled, and tireless fighter at the helm. That is why I am proud today to announce my friend, Sia Weaver. As the director of the newly reinvigorated mayor's office to protect tenants. Sia has a peerless record of standing up for tenants in our city. As the director of Housing Justice for All, she has fought in Albany to deliver pro-tenant legislation, from stronger rent laws to good cause eviction to more affordable housing for all New Yorkers. We are creating the mayor's office to protect tenants, with Sia leading the charge because this work has too long been relegated to an afterthought. We fight hard to win new rights for tenants across the city, only to find that those tenants are never told of those rights. Millions of tenants across this city are eager for a day when their needs are no longer ignored and forgotten by those in power. Today marks that new era for this city, one where we will follow through on the promises we have made and where we stand up for those who have too often been left to stand alone. I want to thank every tenant who is joining us today, and I want to thank Sia Weaver for joining in this work. It is now a great pleasure and an honor of mine to introduce the new Executive Director of the Mayor's Office to Protect Tenants, Sia Weaver.